I experienced hardships in life when I was a young girl. I lost my mom and my close family members, who were my 3 brothers, but this did not deter me from achieving my goals and pursuing my vision. My name is Dr. Susan Nkanata, and this is my story.
Education is widely known to be the key to unlock the golden doors of freedom and success. Having an education puts one in a better position to secure their future. Dr. Susan Nkanata, a last born in a family of 6, was lucky enough to get a chance to unlock the golden doors to a brighter future.
I schooled in just a primary school near home, primary school that was called Baitigito Primary School, from nursery school to class 5. So when I was in class 5, in 1995, my mother died in 1995. My father is left to raise me, but now we had a brother who had married and was living at home. So my father didn't marry again. So I was brought up by my sisters, but my sister-in-law now, because she was nearer, is the one now who brought me up. So they decided, because now I could not have stayed home, take me to a boarding school.
Losing a mother was tragic for the family, and Susan knew that she had to brace herself for the tough times in order to make it through. Even before the dust could settle,
my brother died in 1996. So now we are left with the sister-in-law. So they get me now from the boarding. We come now bury my brother. Unfortunately, those days no one cancelled you and no one took you through grief. So you like bury, go back. So they don't care whether you're traumatized or not. I learned to keep things to myself, and that affected me to some point. Even today now, I don't know how to expose. So it was difficult because even we didn't have anyone telling us that you can open up to someone. You know, without a mother, there are so many things that you don't know. So you are like in a dark world. You don't know what to do, but somehow life just sets its way forward. So it was a challenge. I didn't know who to confide to. I didn't know what to do, but somehow I managed just to move on with life at that age. But of course now it's different when I grew, because when I grew I got people who, and motherly figure, people who could mentor. Thank God we were raised in a Christian family. And so at least I knew how to pray, even if not maybe much, I knew how to pray. And I think that's what kept me.
Though broken and traumatized by the loss, Susan graciously managed to clear primary school in the year 1998.
One of my brothers was a deputy principal. So he just got me in Girls High School. It's in Meru still, but it's an extra count. So I went to Girls in 1999. That's when now I got born again. I came to know God now at a personal level. And so we go through school. We were not poor. My father was not a poor person. He used to grow tea. But you see now, poverty is not only money. There's the aspect of the psychological, the emotional, and the whole being of an individual. So money, we didn't have a problem because I didn't lack fees. But now I lacked the aspect of the emotional bit. The fact that you have to struggle with your issues alone. So that was a challenge for me. But now when I went to high school, now at least you know you are also growing, advancing in age. At least you are trying to understand some things which you can't understand, because like death, I could not understand why are my siblings dying.
Soon, Susan cleared high school, but the rain did not stop beating.
Got a C-, then now went home, of course. Now go back to my sister-in-law, because that's where we used to stay. So my father used to buy us all we needed and give to my sister-in-law. So I stayed for 2 years before I went to college. Now, and in 2003, now my father said, instead of me staying idle, I can do computer. You know, that's when people used to start doing computers. Those days, the packages. So I did the packages, I finished. And now I realized I don't want to stay at home. No, now when you go at home, sometimes you are idle. So I looked for a small job. So I was learning Simi and Jami. So during that time, so I served in another church that was there at Meltown, staying with a relative. So we stayed 0304. Then now they got me a Corange in 05. That's when I joined Kabune Technical Training Institute to do a diploma in secretarial. So I'm a secretary by profession. So I did diploma in secretarial at Kabune Technical in 2005. Now in that year, that's when my other brother died, in 2005.
Conceptualizing the occurrences wasn't an easy task for Susan, wondering what had befallen her family.
So now you can go back, Barry, another one. You can go back to Corange. The worst bit is that at least these days there are people to teach you how to go through grief. Those days no one cared. You just go Barry and you continue. So 05, 06, 3 years. Diploma, we did 3 years those days. I completed my Corange in 2007.
The following year, Susan graduated ready for a job placement.
So I got a job of a secretary to relieve that secretary who was working. She was sick, and so I was going to go and relieve. So, and I was being paid 3,000 shillings. I was being paid 3,000 shillings for the secretarial job. We used to type using typewriters. And now computers came. Yeah, so I worked there, relieving the secretary, but I was commuting from home. It's not far from home. So I was commuting from home. At least now, I was busy. I was not like very idle. So I stay, that's 08 at home, going to do that. And now, unfortunately, one day when we were just at home with the children of my sister-in-law, because I was staying with my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law went to the shamba. So we wait for her, she's not coming. So I tell them, let me go look for her where she is. So I went found that where she was farming, she just, the way you bend, farming. So she bent there and now she could not stand. I don't know what happened to her. She could not understand herself. She could not talk. So I ran, called my father. She was just like a statue, like, she can't get to know you, she can't get to hear you. All of a sudden, and she was okay in the morning. So I ran, call my father. Then my father comes, looks for a vehicle. You know, those days even looking for a vehicle to take someone to hospital. Yeah, so she just taken to hospital. Now we are left with the one girl, the daughter. The daughter was in class 6. And now the son was in boarding school. The older son. So she just taken to hospital. She goes, we are left. She goes, gets discharged. She's better. She comes home. Now when she comes home, after 1 day, 2 days, she gets worse again. She can't wake up from the bed. So you have to feed her. So now I'm the one feeding her because I'm the bigger one. So you feed her, and then now she gets worse as days go by. So one day now I see someone. That's the first time I saw how people die. I didn't even ever think that's how people look like. But one prayer I prayed that she will not die in my hands. So she turns, people start turning pale. Like the blood wants to stop flowing. So I call my sister. My sister who is a nurse. And Anauliza, is the heart still pumping? And I'm yes, it is, but very far. It's pumping kwa umbali sana. So she just says, I'm coming. So she comes, says, let's take her to hospital. So they take her to hospital. So now we are left again. So she goes. But now she went to the hospital the second time. She's still like for 2 days. Then I saw my sister. And she came and told me, she's gone.
Her demise left a huge gap in Susan's life as she had to step in for the children.
And now the children are left orphans. Because remember, my brother died, and now the mother is gone. Now the family agreed that now this girl be taken to a boarding school. So my older sister went with her, and me now I was left. Then I also started looking for another job now. So I called my former college principal. So I called and tell her I would want you to refer me to a job or to tell me how I can get another job. Thank God I was well behaved, I was of good character, and so she knew me. So that's why it's important to be known for good character even when you're in college or wherever you are, that people know you in the right way. So she told me there is someone who is looking for a secretary, probably I can refer you, go and print your case. So I told her to explain to me where, so she told me you go and then you tell them that you are looking for a job.
By God's grace, Susan secured an internship position as a secretary.
When I went there, they placed me to another office, not the principal's office, and a registrar's office. One thing I made sure was that I was there on time. I would arrive by 7:30, no matter the distance. I would walk for some distance, take a mat, then walk for some other distance. It was far. And that time I've woken up early, I have washed, I have prepared tea, I have escorted children to school. So now I go arrive at work by 7:30. We are supposed to open at 8. So for a secretarial job, you have to plan yourself. Like you plan the desk of your boss, then you plan your desk, then by 8, you are ready to start the job. So I used to arrive early. And every time this principal used to pass by, I used to wonder who opens the office every time very early. So he would pass by, peep, say hi, and go. So I did that for some time. I used to arrive before everyone else, then do my work. When people are reporting, I have settled. So when people are watching me, I'm settled, I'm doing my work.
Her diligence and hard work didn't go unnoticed, and one day, God's favor located her.
This principal thought, I think I need a person like that one who is in that office. And so he said, please transfer that young girl who is in that office to move to my office. That's when God now started opening doors for my life. So that is in 2009. So when he transferred me now from there to his office, now he is the CEO in that case because he is the senior most. So when I go to his office, there was another lady, an elderly lady who was in her 50s. So we used to work with her. So we worked with her for some time and then she resigned. I think she could not take the pressure. The secretary job has much pressure. So now I'm left, and so there's a vacance. There's now some vacant now for another person. So what they did, they advertised the job and I applied. And now that's how I got now the job of an executive secretary. And now at that time now, they were paying 17,000.
Elated about the increment, Susan decided to further her studies as she rewrites her family's history.
Now that we had lost so many people thought even you have been bewitched. The talks in the village. But as we didn't believe in witchcraft because we were born again, my father was a Christian, we were brought in church and we were prayerful. So we didn't believe in witchcraft. So people used to say we have been bewitched. So I told God, please God help me to get off the shame for our family. So I joined Meru University. I would attend evening classes because during the day I could not even get time because of the work. It was too much. So while I was there working now on the secretarial job, it happens that now the principal is elected the chair in education and training they were calling it KATI, Kenya Association of Technical Training Institutions, all over Kenya. So he was the chair. So, and he said, because I have been appointed the chair, my secretary, because she's very hardworking, she's going to be doing the work for me. So now, he used to give me work for now that association, they used to contribute to one's trainings. So they would contribute a certain amount, every institution would contribute a certain amount to the trainings. So I used to do the secretarial work for that training. So organize the participants and all that. And now God gave me a way to get more income, because I would do it and they would pay me. So whatever they would pay me, I would pay the fees. So I trusted God for fee, and I said, let me start. So there is the power in starting. That's what I tell people. And I keep on giving the example of the 4 lepers in the book of 2 Kings that were sitting at the gate. So when they were sitting at the gate, they asked themselves, do we enter? And they said, if we enter, we will die. But even if we stay here, it will not help us. And the 4 lepers just got into the camp, and God had made a way for them. So I keep on saying that scripture because it relates to my story. Because had I not started, God would not have made a way. I would have just stayed in my comfort zone, complaining that I don't have any money, and God would have left me. But because I started and had faith and purely trusted Him, because I didn't have any other source of income, so He made a way for me, and I did now my degree. 09, I finished in 2012. Now, I started afresh because I had done secretarial, so I changed my line. Now I got into HR.
Now a mother, a wife, an author, a motivational speaker, a certified human resources professional, and a doctor in human resource, Dr. Susan shares her journey to arm these milestones after this short break.
FamilyNews.Today provides an escape room from the clutter through our podcasts, from church escapades,
get disappointed with God, and I think it's a misplaced anger,
to daily devotionals.
The beauty about God's love is that it was focused on all that God had.
To financial and life tips, bedtime stories for your child. All these and much more available just for you on FamilyNews.Today, on Spotify, Google Podcast, and SoundCloud. Insights at your fingertips.
In the face of adversities, conventional wisdom advises us to focus on the positive. This can be difficult when you feel there is nothing positive to focus on, but Susan stuck her eye on the prize.
But I tell you, the journey was tough. There are days you couldn't even afford a meal. Just eat once and you forget that. But God provided, God helped me throughout. You would even walk to the exam room. Some days you don't have transport. So you walked to the exam. It was not very far, but it was manageable. So I finished in 2012. So now I told I saw now this secretarial work may not help me get the experience that I want. So now I told him, if he can allow me, even if it is unpaid, I look for an internship whereby I can be able to get the HR experience. But now he said, no, I cannot let you go because you have worked for us faithfully and you have served well. So we are going to open an office and mentor you. So that's how God opened a way for me to get into HR. So we started a new department, and now they increased my salary now. Now at least I was able to pay my debts. In 2013, now it was the year of paying debts for the ones that now I had borrowed. I would also top up because now the money from the technical institutions will not be enough from the trainings. So I had topped up so many times. So I had a huge debt. So that year I said, let me clear my debt. At least now the salary was a bit better. It was around 30,000. So it was a bit better. I could manage to pay the loan and at least have a better life.
As soon as she settled the debts, Susan got yet another idea that needed to be worked on with urgency.
Now I law for a master's degree in 2014 at Kenya Methodist. Still working in the institution. So again, we used to study on Saturdays. We didn't used to work on Saturdays. So I studied on Saturdays. So 2014, 2015. Now, when I completed my coursework now, in 2014, I applied for a job at the university now, in 2015. So in 2015 now, August 2015, I got a job at Kirinyaga University. So now it's my time to leave the institution. So I can go tell him now that I have got a better job at the university, and because I would want to grow, I kindly request that you release me. Of course, they were not willing, but because now I want to grow myself, and I would not have stayed there because I really needed career growth and also to change the environment. Having stayed there all through, then I felt I need a change. So they released me and they tell me they wish me well. So in August 2015, now I reported to Kirinyaga University. Now in the HR, I continued practicing HR in 2015. I hadn't finished my master's, I was still doing my thesis. So when I joined Kirinyaga University, I was still doing my thesis. Now I continue and I finished and graduated in 2016 with my master still at Kirinyaga University in the HR office. I was not the HR director, but I was the assistant to the HR. So we worked there, thank God for the HR at Kirinyaga University as well. Madam Joyce really helped me grow. You know, growth is continuous, doesn't come to an end. So you go to another place, you realize there are new things that you are learning. She was tolerant, she couldn't accommodate me, she wouldn't teach me, and God bless her. Madam Joyce Kirago, she's the HR even now. So I stayed there, of course, continuing to do my degrees and continuing to work. At that time, we were not even many in the office, so there was a bit of work. And like today, now they have expanded. So we were the HR, me, and the records person and the secretary. So there was a lot of work, you know, the nature of an HR office. Yeah, so that is 2015, 2016, I graduated my master's. Then now I continue working there now. And to take you back, I forgot to say, in 2012, when I was working at the institution, my other brother died. The third one, 2012, he contracted some infection with the lungs. He was working with the bakery.
Amidst all the hurdles she had to jump, her faith and determination kept her afloat. Early in 2017, love came calling.
He used to come to sell. He used to come to our office to get permission to sell loans to the staff.
And it's true there then that I met this young lady who was, very social. And on going with her, she had some integrity. And also, she, the more you interact, you get to know someone's values, and above all, she was a Christian. Coincidentally, she was also a neighbor to a colleague I was working with. So we would be friends along those connections. And that's how we got to know her. And by and by, it graduated.
That's when now you proposed now. Still in the same 2017. You didn't stay for long because, again, we were not very young. Yeah, even in the previous years now, I was trusting God, but I hadn't gotten the person that couldn't understand my vision. I needed someone who could really understand my vision and my background. Because one thing I feared was I get married and then someone dumps me with a child and I don't have somewhere to go back.
Let me say, when we met, I did not see, the lioness in her. Okay? I had not seen it. And every man would wish. After many years, of course, of going up and down in life, you meet someone. You want someone who's simple, easy, and someone who just a simple girl who you can do life with. I did not see that other part of her until during our wedding preparations. And we'd say, let's do this, and within a very short time it's done. Let's do the bookings, within a very short time it's booked and things are paid. That's when I started noticing there's something unique, very, very unique. And of course, other things that attracted me to their values. The education bit, she really had passion for education. And checking on her background, as you interact. So those values really hit me. And now this other one, the the consistency on things and doing things really struck me. But they did not intimidate me in any way.
In September 2017, when we were planning for our wedding, because we ended in October 20th, 2017. In September 2017, now a program came to the university for a PhD. So I was planning now for my wedding. Now I requested him whether I can do the PhD program. So he accepted and encouraged me to join. Of course, we didn't have much money, considering we were preparing for the wedding. But at least now I'm working here, and they can allow you to pay little money. Then you join. Then they can even deduct you from the salary. So I joined my PhD in September 2017. Then we went in October 2017. Now from there, it was marathon. We have went in 2017, still doing my PhD. Now after now October 2017, of course, now the period, now I got expectant. Now late of 2017, early 2018, no, it was early 2018. Then now, still doing my PhD, now young in marriage. Then now in 2018 November, I got my firstborn. November 2018. I'm still in school, balancing all those things. So 2018, I get my firstborn, and my father dies when my baby is 1 month. That was the most hurting thing.
Susan lost a pillar in her life, a mentor and a role model who had instilled a lot of values in her.
Actually, the time management I have today is because of my father. In our family, you could not wake up after 6, doing what in bed? So you wake up at 6, if you are doing nothing, you sweep. You sleep outside, or you do something. You look for something to do, but not sleep. So the discipline now he put in us for waking up early, up to today. We used to do work in the morning. By 10, you are done with the house chores. Or even by 9, all right, you are done with all those chores. So that helped us. And so my father is an hero for sure, and he loved education. He educated even my nieces, the ones that were left. No one doesn't have education. I remember when I graduated in bachelor's, he called people from the village to come and see how people graduate. Children, to come and see how people graduate and how education is very important. So his legacy, I'm sure you'll be the most proud man if he was alive. So that made me get inspired to become.
Life was challenging for the young family, and Susan had to strike a work-life balance.
I remember the issues of now balancing between family, between children, between school was not easy. But now it requires one to have discipline, and also to be patient with yourself, and also to be resilient.
The values she has, she doesn't go out of her way, probably to assert any kind of way to demean or using what God has blessed with her with. Eh? So she also knows how to balance everything.
Her patience and hard work soon paid off, and in October 2022, Susan finally graduated.
And that's when I graduated with my doctorate. And now I had my doctorate and my family put together. And I thank God, because God has seen me through life.
For over 25 years, Dr. Susan had been studying. She has drawn a handful of life lessons.
I want us to be resilient, so that in the circumstances of life, you can find the strength in God, and also have faith in God for tomorrow, because faith is the hope of things not seen. So we have faith in God, then we become patient. No one should give up, because God has a purpose for every one of us. The Bible says that God has plans for us to prosper. And so God has a plan for every person, and He has the reason why He brought you to this world. Not everyone will be a doctor like me, but they will be blessed in different ways. So it is good to trust God for your vision and for what you want in life.
Dr. Susan is a living example that dreams are valid and no person is limited. If you have a story you would like to share with us, kindly text us on 20316 or WhatsApp on 0786 316 316 and we will get back to you.